Here's how I helped one of my clients recruit some of the best people in the industry that helped him grow his business by 2x. So one of my clients was recruiting for a onboarding manager and also a salesperson. And these roles are typically really difficult to hire, especially if you want them to be really, really good. And so we created an entire recruiting system so that it allowed our client to basically find the best people. And we broke it down into several parts. The first part is inbound and outbound recruiting. So we posted a job, obviously, and we also went out on LinkedIn based off of a certain profile and found candidates that fit exactly what the CEO wanted. But we did that over in a course of two rounds. We went out, found some candidates, brought it back to him. He then did a review and then said, you know what, actually I want this, and this. And then we corrected it. Basically, it's a benchmarking exercise. We corrected it and then went back out again to then find other candidates and confirm that these are the candidates that he needed. Eventually, he wanted a person that had more of a background within the same industry and also more of not just from an account management standpoint, but also from a sales standpoint. And then after that, we then created a series of tests for them. Some of them were multiple choice and some an additional test, which was a live task, which basically is a actual task that this individual would do. And we would then package it and organize it and then give it to the candidate to do before we do an interview. Now, the multiple choice question, typically you can give that to both inbound and maybe outbound. But for the live task or for the special task that you would ask them to do, we would give to them and then they might have like 2 or 3 hours to do it. These tasks are more forgiven for inbound. You can't really give a task like that to a candidate that you go outbound to. Like you just go and cold message that person. Also, when you go outbound, we also have a really short pre-screening interview. So it's a pre-screen interview, it's a outbound message on LinkedIn, pre-screen interview, and then multiple choice, and then a final interview with the C-level execs. Now, if the C-level exec still wants to get more information from an outbound candidate, they can also give them this like live task. A lot of the live tasks that we have are, I'll give you an example of one, is a task where please do research and create a marketing campaign. Here is a client, create an onboarding plan for this client. Now, the key thing that we also add is we also request candidates to record a video of them talking about the task and also explaining their thought process as to why they chose the things they did and the reasoning and the reason behind all the things that they did for that task. This is really, really important because then you get to test the delivery, you get to test their thought process, why they did it, can they explain themselves well. These are all really, really important things to understand if someone really fully understands it or they're using AI. And this allows us to kind of really get around the whole AI thing, because when someone is just superficially talking about it and they can't really explain their work, then you pretty much know that they used AI a bit too much and they really don't know what they're doing. On the multiple choice side, the way how we avoid AI is that the multiple choice has a countdown and it has a specific time limit in terms of the way how you can go and answer those questions. There's also a little bit of window tracking that can track whether you go to another window or not, and it kind of blocks some people, but people who are very tech savvy might be able to go around it. And so, but for multiple choice, we do have a time limit on that, and that usually kind of like helps. And so after we go through these two processes, we then review those candidates and then give it to the CEO for the final interview. So notice that we don't use interviews too much as a way to judge a candidate's sort of personality and their skill set. What we really do is we look at how they actually perform on an actual task, and then also on some of the multiple choice questions, and use that in totality to kind of figure out if they're a good candidate or not, and then bring them up for a final interview. And in that final interview, we're talking about mostly is the live assessment task. And it's asking them questions on why did you choose to do it this way? What were you thinking here? Walk me through what is their thought process that they're thinking and how to go out and do it. And also you can ask all your other like behavior questions and culture fit questions there as well. Yeah. And so if you want a really quick rundown of how we do interviews, please let me know and send me a DM and I'll send it back to you.